Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, the day I was dreading for 3 weeks since this whole cruise fiasco trip started. Not the cruise port part of the fiasco, like no fiasco there. Getting to the cruise ships and security at the US Customs. Hi everybody. Well, one of the things I like to do when I kick back and relax is I am currently enjoying playing June's Journey. I've been playing it for a few months now. It is a fun puzzle solving game based around the 1920s, the roaring 20s. It also is based around travel and a murder mystery, which is really intriguing. What I like though is it's a puzzle solving game, a hidden object solving game where you're trying to locate these items, and as you progress through, it gets progressively harder and harder as you go along, and the more you find, the faster you find it, the higher score you have. So it keeps track of your score. It also keeps track of other people's score, and you can compete against them to see how you stack against other players as well. You can also visit other players' islands. You can redecorate your island. You can unlock different areas and different forms of travel and unlock more storylines. But I really enjoy the puzzle solving aspect of this game. I find it really helps with my memory muscle, and it's really relaxing. I play it on the cruise ships, I play it in my house, I play it all the time, and I am really enjoying it. So as I mentioned, you can discover June's Journey for free. Simply click the link in the description box below. You can play on Android, iOS, and PC, or you can click the QR code right here. See if you can get your island up as high as I've gotten mine. I've been enjoying the game thoroughly, and I'm sure you will too. So, after my experience going through US Customs in Toronto on 2 different days, like one day they made me miss my cruise. The second day, they almost made me miss my cruise again. Like, they made me miss my flights the first day. And on the second day, I just barely made it to the cruise because they pulled me out of security and into the back rooms for a second time in a row. Even searching my luggage, even though they had my luggage all night. They never gave it back to me because they knew I was flying again. So, I was totally flabbergasted that this happened. This has never happened to me before. Remember, I travel everywhere in the world. My last cruise I was on was 184. Let you know how many times, and I live in Ottawa, so I have to fly to every single trip I've ever done. And those are just the cruises, let alone the land trips like Singapore and places like that. I was awestruck that this happened, and it really did ruin my trip, because I had this hanging over my head for the entire 3 weeks I was on my trips. On the Regal Princess, while I was in Galveston, and yes, the police officer who showed up at my hotel to play that practical joke, great job. As you can tell, it's still on my mind. It's still on my mind what was going on throughout this whole process. And I was slightly worried when I got off the Regal Princess if something would happen there, but nothing did. And then I was not so worried getting off the Harmony because, you know, it's the same process kind of thing, right? The facial recognition and everything. But then I had to go through customs again at the airport, which is way stricter. And they have a lot more people, by the way. You have a certain amount of people at the customs office, and, you know, that they have a lot of customs agents at the airport. Not necessarily the ones you see checking your passports and everything, but definitely the ones behind the scenes, and there's a lot of them there. So they will take the time to pull people aside, and they don't care how long it takes. They're going to do their process. It's their job, and I'm not blaming anybody there for sure. Nobody treated me horribly. Nobody was rude to me or, you know, anything like that. They never even accused me of anything during that process. But I was nervous. going back through security. I'm not going to lie. And so I got there and going through. Now, I got through the security and got to the customs place. And when I'm going through the customs, this is where all the problems happened last time. And so as I'm going through, I get stopped, hand over my passport, they take my picture through the thing and everything, and then they start to ask you some questions. And normally it's, how long, are you traveling alone? Did you buy anything to declare? Things like that. Couple questions. I get asked 7 questions. Where was I? What hotel did I stay at? What were the cruise ships I was on? Am I traveling alone? Do I have over $10,000 in Canadian or US funds? And, things like that. 7 questions. Normally it's 1 or 2, tops. Because they need to get through a lot of people, right? But they asked me a lot of questions. But finally he said, "Oh, okay, sir." And he handed me my passport. It says, "Have a safe trip." And the weight came off my shoulders. Because the longer he was asking questions, the more nervous I got. Now, I had answers to everything, right? I know what I'm doing. I've been through security a billion times. I have the answers ready to go. It's not like I have to think of, where did I stay? And how many days would, some people get up to the customs line and it's like they've never been anywhere in their lives before, right? And, they get up to the security and they still holding liquid in their hands, or they pack a bunch of drinks in bottles into their luggage and why is it being searched? Things like that. Or they buy 15 bottles of alcohol and shove it in their luggage and think they're not going to get pulled over. I know all this stuff. I've been there. I know what my limits are. I know everything to do with this stuff. And so, the questions didn't make me nervous, but going through customs certainly did. Now, here's the second part of that. That was coming back to Canada. What's it going to be like for me, again, going to the United States? Because that's where the problem started. It was going to the country, not coming from the country. Well, I'll find out in March, because I'm back in Florida. I hope. In fact, so much so that I'm thinking on flying in an extra day early. So flying in 2 days early for my group cruise in March, in case this kind of garbage happens again. But the good news is, I got through security this time. There were no real issues, just a lot of questions, and I wasn't pulled aside, and my bags weren't searched. Let's hope that's a trend that continues in the future. Well, I hope you appreciate this little update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation. And hey, don't forget to check out June's journey and see if you can beat my high scores.